Welcome to Silent Stacks. Here we focus on silently stacking the bag while navigating uncertainty in real time. Welcome to my channel. I post 3 videos per month, one on the 8th, one on the 17th, and one on the 26th of each month. If you find value in my work, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive right in. All right, so here we have the Bitcoin chart. We are having a nice reaction in the zone that we marked at 82 to 85, and now we're getting somewhat of a correction. So the question is, will the rally continue or is it over? That's what we will determine in this video today. All right, so we are getting a weekly bearish candle. So what I like to do is after we had a nice rally, I like to pull some key fibs and put it in the chart. So I'll measure the high from the low. We'll get one zone over here and we'll get another zone over here. That's where we are now. Looking at the weekly liquidation heat map, we do see some liquidity at 82,000. So that tells me that the 82K level may not be over yet. And there's a good chance that we will revisit that. So now that we have the two zones in the weekly, let's zoom into the daily. I did make another addition to the Silent Stacks indicator. Now you could access the daily over here, and then it just changes all the configuration to the daily, and it gives you a more of a zoomed out macro view. So right off the bat, Bitcoin is struggling at the 200 daily EMA. So I like to pinpoint where we had buys from the daily. So we had a zone over here and we had one over here. That gives me a more or less an idea of what is going on. So if we lose this zone, we could quickly fall into this zone. So this is a crucial zone for Bitcoin to stabilize in. So now that we have the weekly zones mapped, the daily area of interest mapped, now we could go to the 4-hour time frame and wait for an execution. So I want to see how Bitcoin reacts to the zone of 75, more or less. So this is a crucial level to monitor. Let's put the Silent Stacks indicator back to the 4-hour time frame, and there we have it. On the 4-hour time frame, the last green tag we had was over here. We had a correction, we formed a base, and then eventually we went above this green tag, but we printed no green tag. So in the short term, the strength is weak. All right. So once the strength is weak, I start to look for areas of interest where I would like to buy. And that's what I do in the 4-hour. So we mapped it on the daily. So this is the zone that I will be interested in. And if we can't build a good structure here, then I am anticipating 65K. So what I do is just wait for trade setup. Now that I have the zoomed out view in my head, it's easy to execute on the lower time frames. And this is the Silent Stacks Crypto Alert app. Phase 1 is finally complete. If you want access to this dashboard, shoot me an email at silentstacks@proton.me. So this app helps me look for trade. If you look at over here, if you scroll down, you get recent alerts. This gets pushed to Discord. So we're getting some short-term buy signals on the alts, XRP, Bitcoin, Doge, ETH, AVAX, Sol, ZK Cash. We're getting some trend buys. We're also getting some structure buys. So in the short term, some buy liquidity is forming. But I would not be too quick to jump on these buys. You have to understand what these are before you jump in quickly. It takes time to build. This is the 4-hour time frame. It could take anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks for the structure to present itself. This is a good starting point. And this here is the info box. This is the new addition. So what you can see is the daily bias. We got the signal on May 8th, and usually we execute from the 4-hour. But the 1 hour and the 15 minutes could give you some different views for you to execute on. All right, but if you like to zoom in a little bit more, you could have that view as well. So for example, you could go to the 15 and there you have it. So this is the 15-minute view. It could give you some insight. You go to the 1-hour view. It gives you some insight as well. And you could go to the daily view. So the daily view is interesting because we've been in a bearish posture since November 20, 2025. That's when we started tagging red. Tag red, you got the entries here, tag red, those are selling pressure, and now we're at the 200. The first sign of Bitcoin getting out of this sticky hole is for the daily to tag green. All right, so daily bias is still a sell. So we patiently wait for a 4 hour structure to present itself so we get more clarity. So I did take some sold shorts. I got in here and I wrote it to about right here. And this is the trade here. And I also took a ZK cash short as well. I entered over here. I wrote it to about this zone over here. And this is the trade over here. Now let's wrap up the video with XRP analysis. XRP is still holding the 200 weekly EMA, and I am anticipating a pump towards the 50 weekly EMA. Back in 2018, the first touch of the 200, XRP rallied to the 50. Back in 2022, the first touch of the 200, XRP rallied back to the 50. And that's why I'm anticipating the rally, because this is the first touch of the 200. So rally back to the 50 will be around 185. And that's my next area of interest. If you want a deeper analysis on XRP, make sure you check my last video, and that gives you a better macro overview. But in the short term, we are starting to close above the weekly. Things are looking good for XRP. It's looking stable. I am monitoring XRP in the 4 hour time frame because I would like to get some entries, and I will be using Silent Stacks crypto alerts to help me with that. So what's cool is if you want a certain signal, you could go to one that you want, let's say XRP. All right, so if you look at the recent alert log, those are all the signals that could help you structure where you want to buy and where the buys are showing up. So we have this view, this gets pushed to Discord, so you don't have to keep looking at the chart. And then we'll look at the daily view here. Same story as Bitcoin. We've tagged red here and we've been in the selling pressure ever since. So in order for this pattern to break, I am anticipating eventually a pop to the 200 daily, and this will catch up XRP to BTC. And we'll see if the strength is enough to tag green. And once it tags green, that's a good sign that we could recover out of this hole that XRP is in. All right, so to wrap the video up, we are still waiting, and I will keep you posted every step of the way. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found value, make sure you like the video. I post 3 videos per month, one on the 8th, one on the 17th, and one on the 26th of each month. So if you like my work, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. You can also follow me on X at 24/7stacks for quicker updates. I am growing this account. You are in the right place at the right time. Until next time, take care.